is the new Sportster Nightster a lame duck? Let's get into it.
RevelatorAlf.
Hello, welcome to RevelatorAlf. So just got back from a ride out on the heroic Harley, all really nice. And anyway, turned on my phone and guess what? Yes, I got a nice little email from Harley-Davidson saying, look, we've got a brand new motorcycle and it's all brilliant. So I watched their video and I'm sure you have by now as well. And well, let's have a look at this bike. They've basically styled it quite nicely. I don't know, bit 883 maybe. Anyway, nice little bike. They've actually put a smaller capacity engine in it from the Sportster S. That was the 1250. This is the 975. They've also dropped the horsepower on this quite significantly, and the torque, and it's all coming from the same Revolution Max engine. So if we take the Pan America here, I'm gonna have to look at the figures here, but the Pan America, the Revolution Max engine, that's 128 newton meters of torque and it's 150 horsepower, right? I've ridden that bike, I've test ridden it, and it's a nice, sweet, powerful bike, right? Then they brought out the Sportster S. Now the Sportster S in the UK as a bulk standard bike comes in at just over £14,000, £14,295, right? Now it's got the 1250 engine, slightly detuned, oddly enough, and it's got 125 newton meters of torque and 121 horsepower. So it's a significant reduction from the Pan America. Okay, let's look at this Nightster. Now the Nightster has got some nice ergos on it. It actually looks quite nice from the right hand side. The left hand side is a bit lame, but from the right hand side, I'm not sure why they've gone for the underseat fuel tank. They wanted a big airbox where the fuel tank is. I'm not too sure about that at all, the whole reasoning behind that. It's got full LED lights all the way around. Okay, right, so you're up with the 21st century now. Well done. But it's coming in just shy of £13,000, 12,995. Okay, let's look at the specs, shall we? Engine, well, we know it's a 975 Revolution Max engine. We always knew that engine would have a 1250, 975, and I think they could even go down to 700 and 500 if they really needed to. Okay, that aside, we know it's a smaller engine. But why? Why does it need to be a smaller engine? Okay, let's look at the performance. Performance, 95 newton meters and 89 horsepower. Okay, so they've basically brought this Sportster in as a smaller bike, almost like an entry-level Sportster. The Nightster, okay, kind of 883-ish styling. I get it. But if you look at the competitors in the market, actually it kind of falls short. And then you look at what it is in relation to the Pan America and to the Sportster S in terms of power output only. I'm not talking about aesthetics or the type of bike. Then you kind of think, well, you're being shortchanged here. Now, for me, why don't you just say, right, okay, what we're going to do, we're going to bring out this Sportster S, nice, and we're going to match that power with the Pan America. We're also now going to bring out this Nightster and different ergos, different looking bike, but we're going to have the same kind of power. It's a high power output. Hold on, now you're turning heads. Now people are thinking, you know what? That's not a bad little bite there. I think I might have a little go on that. And this is where we're kind of talking about taking people away from the Japanese bikes or British bikes or European bikes and getting them onto an American bike. You've got to give them something a little bit more. And the 975, you're kind of shortchanging people. Now, if you're talking about having an entry level bike, okay, I get it. Have a 975, make it a platform to be built upon. And this is where I have the big problem. The big problem with this bike, this Nightster, is that Harley-Davidson's whole marketing video was all about getting custom bike builders to rip it apart and then build upon it. Well, we all know that Harley-Davidsons are there to be customized or added to and make your own and all that kind of stuff. We know that. But why is it coming in at £13,000? And why do you have the lead designer there saying, wow, this is a bike to, be added to, customized to? Surely you want to give a finished product. Surely you want to say to people, look, this is the Nightster, it's an amazing bike, and maybe you could do something with all these extra accessories. But you kind of made a big thing about it being a a bike to be customized, and look, we've got all these custom bike builders to make a bike, which is fine. We know that's going to happen, and because the Sportster was always that bike to be customized, wasn't it? But you're coming in at £13,000 and you're coming in at a performance that isn't quite right. I mean, if you're going to go for a 975 because you want it to be lighter, a little bit lighter than the Sportster S, yes, granted, but it's not significantly lighter. If you want it to be, you know, a really sportier feel, then you really need to have something with a much better throttle response, a much better power to weight ratio. There has to be something more. Now, if you're just saying that this is an entry-level bike that is ripe for customization, then your price point is completely wrong. It needs to be a lot lower. It needs to be about the 10,000 mark. That's where you need to aim it at, and then you just add on afterwards. I've got a feeling that this is not really well thought out from the marketing side of it, from the video, the custom bike builders. It's almost like they jumped the gun with releasing this information to us, you know, about the Nightster. I think if they just come out with the Nightster and say, look, this is the new motorcycle, and you know, we've got it at this price point, and it's going to be the 975, and we've put this power output on it, and said nothing about the custom bike builders, I would have accepted that a little bit more. I'm not sure I can on this one. I'm not sure, because this Revolution Max engine is a fantastic engine. It really is. And you know, those of us who are, you know, riding the old style bike, as it were, would be blown out of the water by these new bikes with this new engine. And that's in a stock form, of course. But over the last year, Harley-Davidson made a big play about this new engine, and you're not really giving us that sense of amazement, a sense of wow, look at this bike. It's kind of like, do you know what? You've had two bikes with the Revolution Max engine, our top of the line engine, but guess what? We're just going to give you a really detuned one, and you know what? If you want to make it better, then up to you. Look, and guess what? Look at all these other custom bike builders. They don't like it either. They're going to start improving on it as well. It just doesn't seem to make sense to me. On the face of it, I've always liked the 883, and I kind of liked that style of bike, and I kind of thought, actually, you know what, if you put a 975 in it, make sure you tune the hell out of it so that it's a really sportier feel, as opposed to a grunter. Make sure it's a really sporty feel, and it doesn't really feel like it to me, and it doesn't, by all accounts, it hasn't really got the performance that you might expect from like a 1 litre bike. Certainly not a 1 litre sports bike, that's for sure, of course. But you know, you're going from a bigger engine to a smaller engine, but you've dropped a lot of performance, I think. Anyway, but there we go. Let us know what you think in the comments below about the Nightster, about the price point, about the marketing, about the way they've, you know, got all these custom bike builders, which are really good, don't get me wrong. It's all really nice. It's all really interesting stuff and what they're building. It's always good to see the creativity there. Of course, I love all that. I just think it was a bit misplaced. They would have been a lot better off in releasing this bike and then saying, right, okay, you know, we're going to have a custom challenge next year about modifying this Nightster. If you want to apply, you know, send in your details, that kind of thing. That would be really interesting to see what these bikes can do, what people can do with them, and you know, it will fuel the imagination for everybody else. And I just don't think they got their timing right and the reasoning for the bike. That's my opinion, but obviously I could be completely wrong here. I could have missed the point of this whole bike whatsoever, but I'm still very happy with my heroic Harley. The Softails aren't dead. The M8 isn't dead. Well, not for now anyway. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell, like and share. Check out the website RevelatorAlf.com. Ta-da!